So, what are the ways to determine value of your home? Really, there's four ways, okay? And main ways to do it. But it all comes down to what we call buyer demand and buyer activity once your house hits the market. You can look up all the resources in the world. You can find all the data from every appraiser and get all the information you want. Put your house on the market, and what really determines the value of your house is the activity you have with regards to buyers. Okay, that's number one. That's the most important part. Now, how do you come up with a price for your house? That's calculated several different ways. Really, the major four ways are: you can look at the Zestimate on Zillow, you can look at comparable sales from a realtor, you can go to the tax records and see what they show for value, or you can have an appraisal done. All right. Now, the least accurate of those is going to be the tax assessed value. All right, they have an assessed value, and you can call your insurance company and look at what the rebuild cost is. That'll get you pretty far off of the actual mathematical value of the home, but it is a figure that people look at in regards to what it's worth. In Florida, it's less. It's very different than other states because here in Florida, values are only assessed and taxes are only assessed based on transactions. So when someone buys a house and the deed transfers, that's when they reassess the value. So it's not the best way to go. If you look at Zillow, okay, that's a way to come up with a rough idea of what your house is worth, and they are typically around 10% on or off, give or take the actual uh, value, and it also depends on the neighborhood you live in. So is it a cookie cutter neighborhood, or is it is your neighborhood mixed? Does it have two bedrooms, three bedrooms, four bedrooms? Does one street look different than the other street? All of that makes a big deal when it comes to Zillow and how on or off their Zestimate's going to be. So if you look at Zillow, take it with a grain of salt. The more cookie cutter your neighborhood is, the better and more accurate the Zestimate will be, for sure, 100%. The third way is to have a realtor run comparable sales. All right, they're going to come in and they're going to pick out the most probable homes that are just like yours that you can compare it to, and they're going to see what those properties sold for. They're going to look at the prices. They're going to look at price per square foot, and they're going to give you a rough idea of what the value is. Okay, what the mathematical value is. And then the fourth and probably the most accurate way is to hire an appraiser to come out. They do what an agent does, but they just do it in a little bit more detail in regards to bathroom upgrades, kitchen upgrades, floor upgrades, that sort of thing. So they actually put an exact value on all of those items, and then they cross-reference it with the other homes that are comparative to that home, and then they come up with a figure. So the funny thing is though, and the truth is that you could have 10 different agents, you're going to have 10 different prices. You could have 10 different appraisers, you're going to have 10 different prices because they all do things a little bit differently, they all adjust things a little bit differently, and that figure is never going to be consistent. It just won't be. The real truth is that you get you come up with an idea of what it's worth based on a range. All right? And then you put the house on the market somewhere in that range and as close to a price bracket as possible. All right, so if the major price brackets are going to be the $250, so 100,000, 125,000, 150,000, 200,000, 225, 250, 275, 300. You should try to get a range and then stick the property as close to one of those major price brackets as possible. And you want to, if you can, get right on a price bracket. That'll give you the best insight into how your property is performing because your property at that point will have the most exposure to all the buyers out there, and they're going to be in those big price brackets. That's where they're going to be pre-approved at, and then you'll know quickly that what you did was right because you have a lot of showings, or it was inaccurate because the showings and the activity is very slow. It's pretty much that simple. All right. Well, anytime you need anything, I'm happy to help. appreciate your business. I always do, and just want to thank you. And if you need anything, please reach out anytime.